Exactly. I'm sucking on a hole. It went into my eyes. You're vaporized. I just I didn't. Maybe I should. The longest day I've had in a while. I'm out of a nap today. No, my son got home from school yesterday. He slept today. He made it half a day and then he slept. So it's Sunday.
Yeah, having an extra thing that hangs on the wall is not what I need.
Harry had a nap. He's got it now, right? Harry. That's what I thought. Yeah, he has it now. So, well, we'll see. Like, I mean, my mom had it, then Michael had it, and so far, like, I tested this morning. I took 5 times. Harry tested at least 5 times before he was positive. He had a symptom from when did I get it? I tested Sunday and it was positive. He started sniffling Tuesday, so he tested Tuesday, he tested Thursday, and then he tested again on Saturday. So obviously he had tested Sunday too, because he had to for work. And then
a lot of things in the last couple of years.
and I mean, I felt shitty. Very good, like, and he kept going, I'm not sick, I don't have it. I'm like, because being negative for a week and then boom. So in the meantime, you've given it, that's what he went to study. Spreading all over the place. He went to study Paradise Stripes or whatever, stopped going about his motorbike. And I said, now you can fix that old man there, and he ain't no spring chicken. I worked the hockey game on the weekend, so yeah, right.
So talking to Lauren,
you know, like your schedule for the end. Yeah, because I'm going to the Vegas game. No, we know our, like, I mean, our schedule is the other schedule, so we know it. We're like, you just work every day.
10 or 12.
Where do you guys sit? Do you have a regular spot? I don't know where.
I mean, you get knocked down the strip and just
So I work on the main concourse. I have the section 107, so it's.
Yeah, you get down the strip and
So
maybe my anxiety level
like bar within 9 or 1 hour.
Well, I see, yeah, the road trip is kind of half part of it. So.
Well, especially now that I felt so Saturday. Like, oh my God.
I was reading it in Facebook, but I thought
I didn't put anything on Facebook because I usually don't, but Ashley might have, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's part of the trip, right?
It is, though.
It honestly, it's actually like a relaxing, pleasant time. It takes a day. Only in Nevada, which seems weird, but yeah. Other than Nevada, there was no snow.
I've driven 2 times.
3 or 4. Me and Cindy used to drive.
22 hours.
Then I drove a Dallas.
Stay one night somewhere forever.
You just drive.
It's a good drive.
You just switch on and off. It's fine.
I drove from Port George all the way to Thorsby.
Yeah.
Yeah, St. George. I'm down to Pocatello.
Yeah.
It's almost enforced.
I've driven from here to Halifax in one go. So.
Oh my God.
A lot of energy drinks and cigarettes to do that, but.
We're not gonna come.
When we were coming back, we hit Red Deer. There's that little flow.
Yeah.
Like 3 in the morning. Would you like to drive? I wouldn't say it just for the next company, but we got the roar part.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order for the committee of the whole meeting on March 8th, 7 p.m. First order of business agenda are the additions or deletions. And I have one that the CEO here at 3.1, and it's I guess they call it Ukrainian support. So we'll add that as 3.1. Is there any other additions or deletions that anybody else has?
Do we want to add about the email? Corey responded. Oh,
Sorry,
Yeah,
primary
no,
care,
Yeah.
yeah, the additional.
How I operate. Wait 20 years.
PCN is called, primary care nurse.
Sure, yes, thank you. That was,
We're both like,
now you know how much I have to say on that.
3.2, anything else?
I'd move to adopt the agenda with those amendments.
Lori, all in favor? First item, 3.0, traffic signalization at the school crossing. This has been a contentious thing for quite some time. I got a call last week myself to go to school on Thursday as Emily Mark Smith was going to be there, and he was there at the request of the principals for the junior and the senior high schools. And so there was one was there, and we had a short meeting, and basically, do you want to go through this here, or do you want me to?
We can tag team it, Your Worship, because I was there this morning watching the intersection for 40 minutes.
Okay, so I'm not going to read this thing word for word. I'm just going to say, so while I was there, I watched what was going on. And obviously they've got concerns there because our spa actually has 3 split shifts. They go at 6, 6:15, and 6:30. So people get out of there at 3, 3:15, 6:30. So there's, you've got 100 seats. So that contributes a lot to the people there. After discussing with everybody there, the biggest thing that the schools want, and I'm not going to say it's going to happen or anything, but they want lights in that. So Mark Smith has asked for a letter of support for us. Also, we're monitoring the traffic for a week there just to see how many people are coming and at what time. And then we're going to send that all in there. And then he's going to set up a meeting, he's hoping for April 21st with the Minister of Transportation. Maybe I can get her to it. And so he's looking for the same thing from us, just a letter of support again. And I know we tossed this around quite a bit.
So, Brent, this will be, I want to say, the 4th or 5th letter of support that council has provided. It has not gotten any traction. We have had actual meetings with the Minister of Transportation on multiple occasions. It has not gotten anywhere. We have done traffic counts, so has Alberta Transportation. Their final conclusion is that it is too far away from the school to be considered a school zone. They do not consider it close enough to playground, school, or anything else. We have been down this road. The other issue, though, is the reason why there's an excessive amount of pedestrian traffic there is frankly because people use the vacant lots across from the church as school pickup parking. Yep. In reality, that's a private parcel that nobody has ever authorized to be school pickup parking, and at any moment in time, private landowner could change that. So how much time and energy are we going to invest when Alberta Transportation is explicitly saying not a chance, and the private landowner still has the rights of a private landholder to do what they wish when they wish with their property? That being the case, the best option that we had been able to come up with to date was the area adjacent to the water treatment plant is owned by the town. It also is adjacent to school. It's not conveniently adjacent to school. They would need to sort out some sort of path, walkway, something to facilitate, especially during the winter, people walking the length of the outdoor grounds of the school to get to that area. But if we were to create an overflow pickup zone on land the town owns and controls adjacent to the water treatment plant, it abuts the school property, and now nobody needs to cross the highway. So now vehicles that are picking up at the school are leaving from one intersection. Vehicles that are picking up over by the water treatment plant are leaving at a different intersection. So you've split the vehicular traffic and limited the need for pedestrian traffic across the highway, and none of it involves Alberta Transport, and none of it involves private property. It's between us and the school at that point. That's the best idea I've heard yet, because Alberta Transportation by all means, we can absolutely do a letter of support, that's
Well,
great.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, this will be 5 years that I know of that I've been working on it, and it'll be another 5 yet, and I do know what the answer is.
Yeah,
when we do
they're
the
not gonna
traffic
do
count.
it. I would think right now.
So this will be the 3rd minister we've met with, the 4th or 5th letter of support. This will be the 3rd traffic count. I already know what I'm not saying we shouldn't do something. I'm just saying I know what the outcome of this approach is. And it all relates to parents using a private piece of property without permission. So why are we jumping through hoops when the answer's been a hard no for 5 years? And at any moment that land use could change. That's my
very true, very true. I wonder why that was never brought up when I talked to them.
It has been brought up. Black Gold has been in here and had this exact same discussion with council. They don't like that answer.
So, well, there's new people. Try it again.
And there's still the town kids that have to cross that intersection.
Yes, so there's still some, but if we can limit the amount of pedestrian traffic, at least you've limited the risk, you've limited the congestion by diverting. A lot of it is parent pickups, and by diverting it to a secondary location on the same side of the highway, that at least alleviates the concern. I don't think it's a cure-all, but it's land that we control.
I saw in Leduc yesterday an intersection with pedestrians that they had poles. It was a new setup because I'd never seen it before. The poles went up and then over the road, and there was flashing lights all the way up and over the top. Like, it was very noticeable.
Yeah, something.
Gerald, everybody here must have driver's license. What is the first thing you learn? When you see an orange traffic light, you are to slow down to 20 kilometers and stop if there are people trying to cross. I've watched that sign. When my kids were in school, I watched cars stop, waiting for the kids to go, and the teachers are going, no, go ahead, go ahead. And they're telling the cars to go instead of getting the kids to go and obey that sign. I say no way that sign. People should be fighting over that. If you've got a driver's license, you know what that sign means, and people will abide by it. Get an RCMP out there one day to see how many people are not obeying that sign and take it some.
Again, we have actually tried to get the RCMP.
They've been out there quite a bit.
And they do sometimes come, but again, it's, what the RCMP does or doesn't do is out of our control. We can ask, but we can't demand they do anything. So
it makes it difficult. Teachers off that corner with their little stop signs, because that just confuses the people who are driving. And I've watched it. Everybody knows when you come to them signs, does Calmar have people out there? No.
They're lucky their school is 2 blocks away.
Yeah, well, ours is a block away, so people should know. When kids are there with that light flashing, you stop, you let them go.
Well, to that, we have to go across that highway to get to that school, period, really, unless we went Corey's route. But my questions are related to the school. Like, as Corey said, numerous times this has come about. Has the school made the effort to do things in regard to, like, setting up AMA patrolling for the kids to do that, or have they educated the students when crossing the road? I do like the idea of turning it into a playground zone, because then it's from morning to night. That's not a bad idea if we could look at that option. I mean, everything's out of our control regardless, right?
That's all over transportation.
Exactly. I mean, it's a lit crosswalk. If there's
Actually, I
light.
think that's better because, I mean, you know, they're focusing on the corner by the church there. But I mean, how many kids turn right or left there, go all the way down to the ESO there, and then cross over there? So
There's lots of kids down there.
Kids.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So now you're only, even the lights there, you're only dealing with half the people. So that really is not a good solution. Okay, well, we can.
Like, is there, I mean, is there any purpose in using our man hours and our resources to do something that we've already done multiple times?
Yeah, and I guess that's my concern is I don't want to waste time and energy for something. Sure, a letter of support costs us very little. That's wonderful. Yeah, but I also know what your conclusion is, though, right? So I guess my point is let's look at other options that might actually get somewhere. Is my thought. I'm not saying the option that I just discussed. That was just the option that we had come up with a year and a half ago. So I think it's the option, it was the best option that we've come up with. If somebody's a better option, I'm all ears. But just saying, let's do the same thing again and again and again and again is getting kind of silly.
That's the description of it.
Yeah, like it's getting really silly.
You know what really complicated the thing, I guess, there was your best for one kid because somebody went right to their color out there.
And I'm not surprised, and I agree, we should do something. I don't want anyone to get hit, that's awful. But let's do something that we actually can do, is my point.
And that's, you know, that's what they're saying, you know, one kid gets hit, well, that's one kid too many, right?
And I agree with that.
Right, yeah. All right,
my kids will cross that crosswalk, like, I get it, I don't like the current situation, I just think we need to look at different options.
okay, so, I guess we could, recommend, motions just to alter, you know, give them the other options on there. What's your opinion on the letter? I think that's, you know, they're looking for something for us. So, you know, it's either that or just have a meeting with them.
Okay, I'll make a couple motions. Okay, so I would first move to provide a letter of support to Black Gold for the purposes of lobbying Alberta Transport for better control of the intersection at 778.
Okay. All in favor of that motion? Carried.
And then I would move to provide direction to administration to look into cost and feasibility of providing for an alternate pickup zone on town-controlled property adjacent to the school and near the water treatment plant as an interim solution.
Then it's put in the school town to, you know.
Yeah, if they need to make a path or whatever, then that's on them. But at least we've given them somewhere to make a path to.
Okay. All in favor of the interim motion? All right, that's carried. All right, we will do that. Next item, I guess we'll go right to CFO.
What about 3.1?
3.1, forgot about our addition. So, Ukrainian support, yeah. So we all know it's sort of happening around the world here. There's been some talk that maybe we could, as a town down near Ukrainian there, you know, maybe we could fly a Ukrainian flag for a couple weeks or something.
And our Ukrainian flags easy to come by? I don't have a clue.
Have you got one? Absolutely, I do.
You have one?
Yeah.
Would you?
I could bring it into town if you want me to bring it in. I can bring it in.
Where do you do that at home?
Well, we use it for our Malonka Festival. We put it up on the stage or in a corner somewhere.
January.
It's not a big one like that, whatever that is. It's a little bit smaller, but it's still a Ukrainian.
Well, we can maybe get administration to look and see if we can get one up.
And
Get one in the flag shop.
I don't know.
Oh, they have them all.
I don't know. We don't want to make any Russians mad, but I think it's just hanging in. You want to put it here, or you want to hang it outside someplace?
I don't know if we have a flagpole here.
There's a flag outside the
Our
front.
hall.
Well, there's a flag to the front here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We could put halfway up there. I'll talk to Public Works. See what we can do.
I do have a flag.
We can only $25.
$35?
$25 for a 3 foot by 5 foot.
I know that, you know, it's pretty large population around here.
It's a fairly major international debt.
yeah.
Seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Your worship, with council, because these are your flags at council, would you appreciate another flagpole and have it in here on the provincial flag?
I think it's just temporary, so. Temporary until I drop the loop or whatever. But I think it'd be nice to have one on site.
We shall investigate and we'll put one up.
Okay, Tina, we don't need a motion for that, I think, do we? No.
It's fairly modest sum and a modest effort. I think we're okay.
All right, thank you very much. 3.2, and support.
Yeah, so a resident on Facebook today was comparing the Dr. doctor and was disappointed that they weren't able to find any connection to a new doctor for new patients, accepting new patients. And so I had asked questions via our email, and Corey gave a good response. And so I'm just wondering if Donna or how would we approach this to investigate a nurse practitioner, secondary one at Thorsby. I can talk to Rod Raymond. I'm going to contact him tomorrow if somebody wants me to. Yeah, just that if there's a need.
Well, it'd be nice if they could come in and give us an update, because like Corey said, it's a practice. Try her out and see how it's going. And
yeah, I guess that's ultimately what it's going to boil down to. They're not going to come in and say, sure, we'll get on that tomorrow. They're going to say, okay, well, we need funding for it and how we're going to pay. But right, it's been a while since we have had an update. How is it going? What's changed? What's new, right? I mean, getting an update straight from the horse's mouth is always better. And then at least then we all know where things currently stand. I'm very confident the answer is going to be, well, it's a funding issue and we'd love to expand and we understand there's a need, but there's no money. But hey, let's get the update and then we at least all know where it currently stands. Because it's been a while either way.
Yeah, so where there's issues in one place, there's issues in other towns and municipalities.
And that is how they were treating it was, hey, let's use this to show the needs that we can approach the province and get better funding for such a model. But I don't know that that's progressed beyond, hey, let's find here so that we can build a case. I don't know that anyone's acquired that additional funding.
Yeah. I'd like to hear
I
updates.
think that Mark Smith is, once again, he's bringing this forward to the government.
Yeah, it was a very heavily subscribed to thing. Like it's a huge thing. I know a big part of the problem is that if you already have a family physician, you are ineligible. And there's a lot of people where, yeah, great, you have a family doctor in St. Albert because that's just what you could find at the time. And you don't want to drive an hour and a half to go see the doctor, but that was the only doctor available. So now you have a family doctor, so you're ineligible, right? It is actually, there's some flaws in the system, but it is the system that we have. It was what we could get at the time. But yes, if they expanded that, I'm sure there'd be lots of people who would be happy to subscribe to the model.
I have a question because I didn't see this Facebook post. Did anybody suggest Calmar, or they just can't?
Oh, they suggested all over the place.
Because there was a nurse practitioner and a new doctor, and
yes, that wasn't available. It was just disappointing that any new person in any new town can't find services. So it's like time to shake the tree.
If you got to drive a huge distance, I mean, it's more or less inaccessible either way, right? And I know there's a lot of people where they're driving an hour and a half to go see their family doctor. That's insane. That's not a good situation.
It takes a week or two to get in.
Yeah.
You know, I knew one lady that went to Fort Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Question there,
that's what's available.
To my understanding, I believe Shauna Austin chairs that committee.
Yeah, she seems to know.
And I know that she's already said they're working on something to try to attract another opportunity. So she might be a good resource to communicate.
Okay, thank you.
I just don't know where it's at, but she was mentioning it here.
this person has tried phoning the health unit near the book something there and they told them no.
2 days a week, right?
Yeah, like she was booked up before she ever stepped foot in town.
Irene, you have something to say?
Yeah, I don't know, months ago, I called the health unit and they gave me a number to call the nurse. And I called it and was a recording and give my name and number and a brief message. If it's an emergency, they'll get back to me within 72 hours.
And did they call you?
No. So, how efficient was that?
You want to talk with Shauna?
Yeah, I can talk to Shauna then. And
I think she's got quite a bit of information on that.
yeah. Okay. No, just want to mention that again. I know we talked about it not long ago, but wondered if it was time to shake things up a little bit.
Your Worship, would you like the PCN network in as a delegation?
Sorry?
Would you like the PCN network in as a delegation for an update?
Sure. Yeah, if they're available and willing, I think that'd be great. And I know they have in the past, so I'm sure they will again if they're to inquire.
Probably can do that.
That'd be a great idea. Then come to one of our, the next town meeting here.
Okay, we'll make it happen, sir. Thank you.
All right, moving along here then. CEO report was last time, CFO report there. CFO, please.
Thank you. So I just gave, because John had asked at the last meeting for the breakdown of the invoices for the legal fees. So I broke them down and then I put the estimate into the ones that we don't have yet, but are anticipating. And then there is 2 from 2021 that haven't been paid yet that I got last week. And then just for reference, I put down the legal fees as per QuickBooks for 2021 and the budget. So we are already, like last year, we were basically over budget by $10,000. So, anybody has any questions? Yeah, so I just wanted this for information, so I just provided it.
We could discuss in camera, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, maybe this is a point to just remind everybody of the budget meeting on Sunday.
We decided
10 to 2.
I knew the date, I didn't know the time, so.
Next 2 Sundays, 10 to 2.
Yeah. Talking police, fire, park, recreation, maybe up to.
What's going on with us?
Calmar has, which is going to come to the rash. Calmar has switched their idea for what they want to do. So we will go to competition because it is a position. We'll go to competition.
So are they planning on keeping that individual?
No.
So is there any way we can get that individual?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll have to go to open competition.
Okay.
How's that? We did talk with the county too, and there is a position for a rec programmer as well. Of course, the county pays 60% of our operating, and Mr. Honesty mentioned yesterday that we wanted to share with FCSS and potentially programming with recreation, and that's covered under our grant from or our payment from the county. So we'll take a look at budget, see, and that was a suggestion. So let's go to competition. That's coming out soon.
Well, I can talk pension if you want. So today I spent the entire day on the phone with the pension lady, reconciling last year's pensions, terminating people that were not terminated, reconciling stuff, and there's people that weren't put on pension when they were supposed to be put on pension, and so the numbers are just all screwed up. So I just we spent the day on the phone, and I felt bad for her because I couldn't find information, and she was sitting there while I'm digging, and anyway, and then so I do believe though that in the end we have over contributed. So I think it's $1,000 credit from what I saw in the email before she went home today. So but yeah. Well, because there was stuff that was pension was calculated on that's not pensionable. So like if somebody pays out their vacation pay at the end of their employment in a lump sum, that's not pensionable, but pension was calculated on that. So we don't owe for that. So we overpaid. So I have to talk to her again tomorrow. Hopefully it's not all.
I was gonna say, just for everyone's information, it's not last year, it's the last about 6 years. Pension has been a mess, which is why we switched to a third-party payroll provider. I know that you
but even that's not set up properly.
The reason why literally the reason why it was switched to a third-party payroll service is because the pension contributions were a mess. If you're saying it's out by 1,000, holy crap, that's amazing, because it was out by tens of
Yeah,
thousands
and
every other year.
she did mention that it was, last year there was issues, but the pension is still not calculating properly. So then the next step is to talk to Ceridian and see how we set it up properly. And then the other thing is to keep a spreadsheet, because I literally had to go through 7 employees, pay period by pay period by pay period in the report to calculate their pension. So it took like a long time today. So
Thank God we only have a handful.
Yes, thank God there's only 12 people on pension, or there was last year. So yeah, so I said to her today, I'm like, I'm going to keep a spreadsheet this year. And she was like, well, I was going to suggest that. So yeah, because it was, I thought it was going to take like an hour this morning. 7 hours later.
Basically, the issue is that the pay codes aren't set up properly.
Yeah, yeah. So it's calculating on stuff. And then the rate, because there's a cap, so up to a certain amount, and it's not calculating over that cap. So it's calculating the lower rate on everything. So if the person goes over like that cap with, then it's not calculating at the higher rate. So there's that discrepancy, but then some people were pensioned on amounts that they weren't supposed to be. So that was an over contribution on our part. So when it was under contributed, that kind of offset each other. So in the end, yeah. It's just, yeah, that's shaking my head.
Well, thank you for
It's like I thought I could get so much more done today. And that just seems to be like, honestly, that seems to be the theme. I open a can and it just worms like fly out. And I get spend hours down a rabbit hole.
Do all the employees from last year know that their T4s are incorrect?
Well, no, because that's the question I have to talk to her about. And actually, when I was going through all this, box 52 wasn't even on the T4.
Like, there are pension adjustments, right?
Yeah, but
there was nothing in
there was nothing in the box.
Yeah.
So I knew I was going to have to adjust them as of like yesterday when we started this process. I knew that was going to have to happen. And then after today, I said to her when we were on the phone, I said, okay, then when we're done all this, I have questions regarding. So that'll be for tomorrow's discussion, and then we'll have some.
Yeah, that, like, I wonder if that's always been the case.
Yeah, well, because this is the first year it was done in Ceridian, so I don't know. I'd have to like find the T4 from pre-2020 to see if box 52 was in there. But I mean, one would assume, and maybe that's the problem, we all assume, that if it's calculating the pension of employer and employee, that it would auto-populate box 52, but it didn't. So
I assume we have an actuarian, because the pension adjustment isn't based just on purely contributions, it's based on a formula. So yeah. We're gonna have a lot of homework.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's everything. I think that's enough for today.
And hopefully we have any correspondence today. So before we go into camera, is there any questions for anybody else in the gallery here? Oh, okay, we've got a couple items in here for camera, so short break and then come back to camera.
Can you take a 5-minute break? Back to camera.
All in favor? Yeah, I got for next time.
We had in the past with the dad's one. There's been a few ones this year, haven't there?
There's right for dad, I want to say it was 1,200 people.
We have.
Hey, text me when you get home. Let me know how it was.
Yeah,
You were not going to take the chance.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No.
I You're crazy.
No, I like it because there's no traffic.
Oh,
No, they were, you know what, Highway 39 was way crappier than 39.
But they just came in.
Highway 2, like Highway 2 and 39 last night were a nightmare. Yeah, and Genesee wasn't that bad. I'm telling you, it's not that. Is it all blowing snow or?
Yeah, there was a record guy who was, yeah, stop on their road.
Oh, yeah, like, yeah. Or is, it seems like 39 is all open, I know.
Yeah, I don't mind the Genesee road, 'cause there's